Welcome to the High Voltage Light Electric Vehicle channel. This video is some ride footage from the CYC Photon with the power unrestricted or de-restricted. This gives the motor a max power of 2000 watts. So for the purpose of this video, I set the throttle to a max of 2000 and then the pedal assist to 1500 watts. There's also some bonus footage at the end of the video with the original climb that I wanted to do but was prevented from doing so because there was a bunch of ice on the trail. So right now you're watching the first part and this is just throttle, and I'm basically trying to see how fast I can get the bike to go in the highest gear just using throttle power. So currently it's pulling like 1600 watts and I'm just shifting through the gears trying to get as fast as I can, and I'm doing 60 here. I'm pretty quickly catching up this car in front. On the flat, it's definitely got a decent bit of grunt with the throttle. Going up to 2000 watts definitely makes a bit of a difference. I noticed going uphill, it's still a bit like, it's 2000 watts isn't enough really to propel the bike up the hill super rapidly the way I used to get like with the X1, but like I wouldn't really ride the bike like that with the throttle anyway. This is just kind of for testing purposes. But like I say, on this sort of semi downhill now, it easily keeps up. I'm on to pedal assist now, so that's 1500 watts. You can really get the bike shifting. You can see that my cadence is pretty high and I'm just giving it all out, trying to go as fast as possible. I'm nearly up to 70 kilometers an hour at a few of these points, and like it's an absolute ton of fun riding like this. Like, it really is. That cadence might be a bit high for some people, but like I'm trying to push it as high as possible, and people might not want to pedal like this, and I guess if I went to like a 50T I would be able to get more speed at a lower cadence, but then I'd also lose my climbing ability and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm gonna stick with what I've got and just enjoy like really giving it the beans when I want to. In terms of cardio exercise, you're generally better off with a higher cadence, and it's kind of on your knees to increase speed that way rather than trying to brute force it. And if you want to see how effective cadence is, just look at Chris Froome, like blowing guys away on mountain climbs just by putting his cadence through the roof. This is easily matching traffic, and it's an awesome amount of fun doing it. Like, I really love this motor. Supposedly it's been in development for 3 years, and it really shows. It's just a joy to ride. I'm not sure on the human power terms how accurate that is. I'd like to learn how that actually works. I wish I could also put some other parts of the screen from the other screen with the temperature and stuff on this one so we could see the temperature at the same time. What I found was after the throttle section it was at about 83 degrees, but actually by the time I'd done all this pedaling and gone through this section, and when I switched the bike off at the end, it was down at 63 degrees. So it manages it quite well, considering this is the unrestricted. I think it really manages the temperature quite well. And if you're riding in and around town unrestricted, I don't think you're going to run into that many problems with thermal throttling. Where you might eventually get to it is with a long climb, and that's what my footage has shown pretty much so far, and you'll see it a little bit in the hill climb footage, which will be coming up in a bit. You'll see not throttling, but you'll see higher temperatures. But for on the flat in and around town like this, you'd have no problems running it unrestricted if you wanted to. So you'll see in a little bit the bit of what I mean when it comes to the hill. So this is a bit of an incline here, and it just doesn't quite have the grunt to maintain traffic speeds once you start getting on to hills. I mean, I am slowing down a bit here anyway because I'm coming up to lights, but it's just not quite enough power to get you up to the top. But I felt comfortable mixing it with traffic here. I didn't really have many people passing me. I think this bike and this motor would make an excellent commute. Like the truck guy, you can't see it in the video, but he seemed pretty shocked at the way that I took off here. You can get up to speed really quite rapidly, and I think that's important to have with a bike or with an e-bike in the city is that ability to move about and not really be holding things up, especially if you don't have access to bike lanes, and that is the case for most of where I live here. So we're nearly finished with this bit of the video, and then we're going to move on to the hill climb, which is a bit of bonus footage that I thought people might be interested in seeing. Okay, so here we are. This is at the bottom of the climb, and this is pretty much like one of the steepest areas that I'll probably be taking the bike on. It gets gradually more and more steep as you get up to the top, and this is where they have the radio masts in town and a lot of the cell phone communication towers. When I started doing this run, I'd already done quite a bit of riding, and it was at 82 degrees C or 80 degrees C. I think by the top it's up to 93. I could have been a little bit sort of more, I don't know what's the word, careful, I guess, with the gearing. I think I was still geared a little bit high for some of these, and I should have used a higher cadence to do the speed with. Like, I have spoken to CYC about the temperatures. From everything that I've heard from them, it's not an issue to run the motor like this with temperatures like this. I'm just going to get on with it. Like, it comes with a 2-year warranty. They sound like they've done a lot of testing with it. Sounds like it's been in development for a long time, so I'm just going to get on with it. I'm going to use my gearing sensibly. I don't want to rely on thermal throttling all the time to protect the motor. I'm not going to, try and stress the hell out of it. But if CYC are confident in this, I'm just going to ride it. When I do my full review on this motor, I'm going to go into a bit of detail on the motor construction and why it gains heat the way it does, and why I don't really expect the heat performance to change that drastically as temperatures get warmer. So if this was like a 35-degree day, I don't really expect there to be a dramatic change in the way that the motor is gaining heat. And I think from everything that I've seen on this climb, I think it's going to be perfectly manageable, and I think I'm not going to get into overheating issues at all. Like, these are about the steepest that it gets for trails around where I am, so if it can handle these kind of grades, I think it's going to be fine. Like, it's only really gained 3 degrees from when I started the ride, so I don't really see it's much issue. You can see the motor RPM is around the 1500 mark, and I think if I had have shifted to a lower gear, I could have, like I say, I could have kept the temperature build up down. It's starting to get steeper now, and I should have shifted down quicker. I've stopped here right now just to show you guys the instant resume. So this is pretty steep, and I can just push on the pedals and off I go. So doing it again here, just push on the pedals, off you go. And I love this. I think it's really, really good. I don't know if this is just a standard torque sensing feature, and I've just not really experienced it much, but I don't remember it being like this on the M620 motor. I think this is excellent because it means that you're not worrying about overbalancing or falling off the bike. And stopping on a bike on a hill can be quite intimidating to some people. So knowing that you can get going straight away is great. Temperature's up to like 92 here, but it's dropped down 91. I think the most it gets up to is 93 on here. So it's not really excessively gaining it to a point where it's reaching thermal throttle, and I think I can get it better with the gearing. So I was very encouraged by this ride actually in terms of the heat of the motor. I mean, I'm going up pretty quick here. You can't see the speed, but I'm going at a decent pace up some really, really quite steep slopes. So we're coming up right now to the very top of the climb, and it just gets steadily steeper and steeper. I still had one gear I could have gone lower as well, which I probably should have done at this point. Now right now it's going to look like I just fell off the edge of the trail, which isn't actually the case. It's just that the camera ran out at this point. So here we have the top of the view. This is the highest point where I live, and I really enjoyed coming out here for lunch. Overall, like so far, I'm super impressed with this motor and the feel of the ride to get up here. And even at 800 watts assist, I felt like I got a decent workout, and I got to go to a place that I enjoy without being completely destroyed. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. A huge thanks, as always, to the channel members that help make this possible. Cheers.